Wow. So now it's 5 years, baby, 60 months.
Yes.
And your points are already getting you shot.
Increased me 6 points.
So do you go right to a USP?
Yes, I was supposed to go to medium, but where they had me on a 6-point detainer, I gave me 6 points. The detainer's worth 6 points in the Fed classification system. Now they give me 6 points. That bumps me to United States Penitentiary status. I'm with the big boys, man.
Hey.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what you're walking into?
I have no idea, other when the guards telling me to get a shank when I got there. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, he told me. But then he tells me, if you get caught with one, I'm going to give you 5 years for everyone you get caught with. He just told me to better get one.
Wow. Where'd you go first?
Big Sandy.
Wow.
At the time, it was the most dangerous federal prison in America, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so dangerous, Johnny, that the yard, they had to split it into 4 sections, man, because people would just be huddled up. They would stomp and stab somebody to death. Yeah. Then they would separate. You would have a body there. No cameras, no witnesses. Wow. So they had to split it up into 4 sections, man.
People were getting murdered.
Oh, yeah, they were fighting for power in the beginning over there. When Chad Marks was over there, yeah, he was over there one of the worst time. They were fighting for power. I mean, they were killing people over places sitting in the chow hall.
Wow. So who was fighting?
Well, they were fighting over there. The Mexican Mafia was trying to establish control and power, and they did.
Who had control before?
It was a brand new prison. Yeah, they just opened up in like 2006, so it just been open for like 4 years. So they had DC, the DC blacks over there. They had some NLR, Nazi lowrider. They had Aaron Brotherhood of Texas over there. They had a Texas Mexican Mafia and the California Mexican Mafia. But the California Mexican Mafia was the supreme, and they ruled everything.
And that's where the foundation of the Mexican Mafia is. It's out here.
Yes, from Cali, from what I understand.
Okay, so who do you click up with when you get there?
When I get there, I had to have your paperwork. You have to have your paperwork walking in USPs. Just not anybody can walk. And then that means be able to live there, basically, on the compound. So when I get there, they read my paperwork. Is any good? They tell the other guard, he don't have any kitty charges. He didn't rat anybody. So he can walk if he chooses. And there was like 15 of us, man, there. And they told us, finally told us, he comes in there. Does anybody here have any homosexual tendencies? Need to speak up now, or everybody turn face that way and you go to the middle. And I'm just standing there with my face this way, man. And he's like, does anybody else had any with a child or somebody young? And if you do, step in the middle. I'm standing there. And he's like, if you cooperate with anybody, step in the middle.
What the?
Yeah, or if you just don't want to be here and get transferred to somewhere else, step in the middle. So I'm standing there, and they said, okay. And then opens the door, man.
What's the point of that, real quick?
Oh, because if you're a offender or you rat on somebody, they will kill you, man.
You're not going to walk out of there.
As soon as you get back there.
So they're doing you a favor.
They're doing them and the government a favor and you a favor. They won't have to go back there and get no dead body off the floor.
Yeah. If it were me, I don't have either of those problems, but I'd be like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I mean, they gave that option too.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
So they said, step in the middle. So the door opens, man. You know, you hear some chains. I'm thinking, well, damn, somebody's leaving. I hear the chains, you know. Man, I turn back around, John. I'm the only son of a beer standing there. I'm the only one there out of 15 people. They're all gone.
But he got out of there.
Yes, whatever those options, whatever, or they didn't want to be there. Man, I'm thinking, I don't know any better, man, you know. They always told me and them holdovers, when you get to wherever you're going, he's like, just keep going. Go hard, though. And don't ever, you know, flinch or you know, backstep. No weakness, man. Just keep going. So that's all I could hear. You know, I don't have any of that anyway, you know. Stuff, so hell with it. And
you're a soldier.
Yeah, I'm a Marine. You know, I'm thinking too, if you did something good enough or bad enough to get yourself sent to United States Penitentiary, Big Sandy, then you're a pretty cool dude anyway. You're a pretty badass dude anyway, you know. Man. So I'm gonna roll the dice, man. So they come in there. He says, my gang coordinator gonna talk to you. He's like, you got a 033 number. He's like, you're not with, and you're coming from California. He's not with those people out there with the mafia. And I man, I don't know anybody or anything about that stuff. I'm from Kentucky, like you see. He's like, okay. So the gang coordinator comes in. He's like, man, you're awful dark. He said, but you got a hell of a country accent. He's like, you got 2 choices with that Spanish last name. You either run with the white boys, he said, or the Mexican mafia is going to pick you up. And I said, man, I don't know what to do. And he said, the best thing for you to do is have some sense about yourself like them other 14, man. He said, there ain't no shame about it. Nobody even knows you're here. Wow. And I said, yeah, but I know I'm here. And I said, I'm not going to be back there around that, sitting with them dudes, man. I feel if I'm here already, then I can make it the rest of the way. He's like, what you better do is better get you a knife as soon as you get back there. He said, but if I catch you with one, I'm going to give you 5 years. He said, take him back there. He said, the mafia is going to pick him up.
And so when you get into Big Sandy, the administration is literally recommending what gang you should be in.
Yeah, they tell you. That's what he told me. Yeah, he said you can ride with the white boys. He said with your Spanish last name and your dark, he's like, more than likely you're going to go with the Mexicans. He's like, they're going to be all over you, man. Wow. Send him back there. I get back there. It's an empty cell. Here comes a real Native American guy, Indian. He's like, hey, man, are you Indian? I said, no. I said, my dad's Hispanic, mom's white. He's like, hold on. Like 2 minutes later, man, here comes 3 big Mexican dudes, man. Freaking gold teeth, Versace glass frames, tattoos. He's like, hey, man, how many come with you? I said, 15. I'm the only one that come back. He's like, you Mexican? I said, my dad. He's like, come with us, man. Who you with? And I said, I'm not with nobody. So we're going to take you upstairs. So there was like 2 in front of me and 1 behind me. They're walking me up the stairs. And there's a dude in there, MS-13. He's an MS-13, and he's getting a big-ass tattoo, some highlights of MS-13 on his stomach, and another soldier's putting it on him. His name was Puppet, man. He's cool, and he's a real good tattoo artist, so he's tattooing over him. And they tell me, hey, man, he's like, your paperwork looks good. And he's like, where are you from? I said, Indiana. They said, you're not with no gang. I said, no, I'm not with no gang. They said, take your clothes off. So I took my shirt off. I'm standing there with my pants, and they said, you got to take everything off, man. What the I took my pants off. I got my boxers on. They said, okay. They said, now turn around. I turn around, and them dudes had their shanks out, Johnny. Yeah, the smallest one was probably about that long, man. Yeah, the rest of them looked like, and I'm thought, oh, it's a sick joke. You know what I'm saying? Where in the hell are they going to get a piece of iron that long? Yeah. Sharp and that good. I'm thinking it's a sick joke, But then they tell me, hey, you have 2 choices, man. He's like, 1, you can run Christian. You can go to this program over here. He said, that's where everybody goes that don't want to be here, man. Or you can come with us, the Mexican Mafia. And yeah, not as bad as it sounds. He's like, from here on out, you'll be untouchable in the federal prison system, wherever you go, man, if you're under our banner. I said, okay. He's like, you need a minute to think about it? I said, no. He's like, good, because you ain't got a minute. Yeah, I said, no, I'm good with you guys, man. I said, I'm cool. I'm down with whatever. He's like, yeah, I knew you was cool, man. I knew you'd be down with it, he said. He's like, get him downstairs and take care of him. They give me 2 big laundry bags full of brand new stuff, Johnny. Yeah. Plastic sweats in the plastic, or sweats in the plastic, all new hygiene. Food you couldn't even get on that compound, man. They had bought from people that brought it in. All nice stuff. They hooked me up real sweet, man. Took good care of me that first day.
So they're running the prison.
Hell yeah, they're running the prison. Literally. The guards told me. Yeah, he's like, you're going to get with them back there. He's like, you'll be all right because they run the prison. He said everything. He said even down to the weights, to the dip bar out on the yard. He said there's 2. He's like, they have the best one. Everything here, they have the best of everything. Right. That's what they tell me about them.
Because they're ready to kill.
They'll kill you in a second.
And are these Mexican Americans, Chicanos?
Yeah, some of them are Chicanos, man, but every one of them is black. I seen one white boy, a soldier in there, but he was from a hood out here in Cali. Okay. It seemed like every one of them was from a hood in California, but me, man, every one of them.
So where in California?
Well, one of them was here in Florence, man.
That's right.
Downtown here in Florence, one that I'm in contact with to this day, very close to him.
And they call that Florencia. That's the street gang.
Yeah, Florencia.
And they're super ruthless and infamous down here in South LA.
Yeah, they were supposed to have one of the biggest busts ever, a few years ago.
And can you tell us who that individual is?
Yeah, Alberto Hernandez. And I want to say that when I met him in there, man, he was one of the most nicest, kindest gentlemen that I've ever met in my life. And he pushed me to do the right things in life, and reading the right materials, keep my mind sharp. He's totally against drugs and alcohol. When I was in there, he was like, look, we'll talk and do whatever, man. But he's like, I don't associate with anybody that does anything to harm their bodies, like drinking or drugs and stuff.
What was he locked up for?
He has double life plus 60. He has a whole host of charges, false charges, I believe, the RICO charges, attempted murder charges, possession charges, And it needs another look at. You know, he had Chad Marks look at his case.
So he's a gang leader that got caught up as a kingpin of whatever indictment.
That's
gang
what they
indictment.
say about him. They say, yes, he was with the top.
Oh, okay. So now you're here, you know, it's weird. It's funny, like cholos, you know, Hispanics, if they like you, they're real cool. They're really nice guys.
That's true.
If they like you.
Yes.
Did they have any Mexicans running with them, or was it all Chicanos?
No, there was some, you know,
Spanish-speaking Mexicans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every one of them spoke Spanish. Yeah, every one of them was from out here. Okay. Now, there was some that were illegal, you know, that just come in as soldiers, you know, they're going to be deported, not going to be here in California, you know, but they ran together. All the Mexicans ran together under the Mexican Mafia. Right. Even MS-13.
Now, can you explain the structure of the Mexican Mafia and how that related to Big Sandy?
Basically,
where the orders come from, and all that.
Basically, what I can say about that, you know, is in Big Sandy, you know, from what I know, you know, every unit, you know, has someone in charge, of course, you know, that's over the whole unit. You know, you have a problem with another race or internal, you go to him. You know, if they can't squash it, then it goes to whoever is over the whole thing, the whole B unit. You know, there's B 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know, you have a shot caller for 1, 2, and 3, and 4 separate. Then you have one that's over the whole thing. If you can't squash it and B1 your problem, then you take it to the high that's over the whole B. If they can't squash it, then it goes to the top
of that prison.
Of the prison.
Are you aware of that person, the commander of the whole prison? Is he in contact with people in California, which is the headquarters?
I'm sure it is, but yes, I had the opportunity to meet him. Wow. The made man.
Wow.
Yes, and it was a very, very thrilling opportunity, scary, but it was thrilling at the same time. I had a question that I needed to ask him, and it took me a couple of days to get the nerve up, man, you know, but you have to be careful the way you present yourself when you speak to these people, Johnny.
Yeah. Surreal.
Yeah. They'll kill you in a heartbeat, man, over the least little thing.
And who was this man? Can you say his name?
I'll just say that his name was
Carlos.
I don't. Okay, yeah, we'll say his name is Carlos. Yeah, we'll say his name is Carlos. But yeah, he's here from California, man, from Norwalk.
Okay.
Yeah, from Norwalk.
So,
but the federal government's completely aware he was in charge of Big Sandy. They know who he was because every Saturday, man, we had to come out. It was his thing. He made everybody, every soldier, come out and greet him every morning.
Wow.
Look, Monday through Sunday, Friday, or Sunday you do whatever, but Saturday it's mine. You come to me, and I will be in line for like 10 minutes, man. A whole line, yeah. Right in the middle of the yard, man. Wow. A rec yard, and the guard was right behind him, and like 4 of his bodyguards, and he was just sitting there, and you would have to shake his hand. Wow, every one of them,
like a king,
like 500 of us.
Like you're like kissing the ring of a king. I was in the
Marine Corps with generals and high-ranking officers. I had never seen anybody as powerful as that man, Big Sandy.
What made him so powerful?
Oh, because he could get, come here, go kill him. Seconds, the man would be dead. Wow. Dead. And he could do it with anybody.
Was it just his character? Or was it the fact that he had killed and proven himself so much that now everybody's listening to him?
Everybody knew that was a fact. But his character also, he was a very, very mean individual, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes. And now, I just wanted to look at him in the eye, shake his hand, and go on about my business, man.
Yeah, it's a guy you want to like you, too.
Yes, yes. But at the same time, every one of us would have did whatever he says, man.
Now, he's not isolated. He's not in solitary.
He was out there. He was out there with us,
So
man.
at this time in Big Sandy, they let the shot callers be in the general population.
Yes, because it was better for the federal government, you know, for he could control his people. Right. You know.
That's how it is.
Yes, because if you make him mad and he puts the order out on whoever, guard, anybody, I don't want to scare nobody into prison, but it don't matter who you are, man. It's over, you know. And I feel that they would rather, hey, let him out there around the people. Let's keep him, man, happy.
Now, what about drug trafficking and running the rackets in prison? Were they doing that?
I was doing that. I sold more heroin and crystal meth and Big Sandy than I ever did on the streets of Austin.
Wow.
Yes.
All right,
I'm talking black tar heroin, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I would get that from the DC Blacks, man. I had a connection. I don't know where this dude, he got it. He had a plug there on Big Sandy, and he would come around and he would tell me like a day or two, hey, get your money together. I can give you a gram for $600. And a gram of heroin is like the size of a peanut.
Yeah.
M&M peanut, you know?
Yeah.
That's about the size. You get $600 for that.
$600 for that.
Yes, it's not no gram. I'll tell you that. It's a prison gram, they call it. But what I'm doing to it, Johnny, is I'm getting me a potato chip bag, and I'm cutting that bag in half, and I'm cutting little bitty strips about that long, about that wide, and I'm taking my peanut, and I'm rolling it out to where it's real thin. You can see the light in it. It's real thin. And then I would just make 50 pieces. Wow. They would call them papers, papelitos, little papers, they call them. And I would sell little papers of $50, man.
And how something that small?
Yes,
how are people getting high off that?
I'll tell you how they're getting high off of it. You can get high off of it two ways. One way you can do it is you can take you some water and warm it up in the microwave, put it in that plastic spoon, and then swirl it around, dissolve it, and snort it. Or I can get you a binky for $20.
Binky's an outfit.
You know what it is. That's crazy, man. You know what that is.
I've been around.
Yeah, nobody ever knew what a binky was but you. You're the only one.
Wow.
That's
Maybe
crazy.
I should go to Big Sandy.
No, not for a binky, Johnny.
No,
You're doing good.
Yeah, thanks,
Stay here, man.
Yeah. So off a peanut that you paid $600 for.
Yeah.
What are you turning that around?
I'm making 12. Yes, I'm killing them.
That's wild.
I'm killing them, man. I can't keep enough of it, man.
Wow. And so this was just your connect amongst the Mexicans.
Yeah, that was just a DC Black connect.
Yeah.
Now, other people have it's difficult to get a connect in federal prison because somebody's going out there, that visitor, and bringing that stuff in. And if you don't know them, you ain't in.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know somebody don't know them, I got as high as I could up on the ladder in there.
Okay, explain that. What do you mean? Like in terms of a connect?
As far as a connect, a lot of people are going to like the store man that sells stuff. Everybody's going in there getting stuff. So let's give him some heroin and push it on somebody. You're probably like the fourth, fifth man down from the top, the store man. I'm probably the third man.
Yeah. Wow. What about crystal meth? How does that market work in there?
Yeah, man. They come to me one time, gave me a big ass rock of crystal meth.
DC Blacks too?
No, these are the Mexicans.
Right.
Yeah, these were the Mexicans, man. Yeah. They come in there. They said, here. They used to give me weed all the time. I first started selling weed for them. Little bitty ass joint. Barely even had anything. I said, man, what am I supposed to do with this? They said, those goes for 15. Trust me, nobody in your unit got none. I went back in there. I told the store man, it was gone in like 5 minutes. Wow. All 10 joints I had, man. $150 I made, about 10 minutes.
Well, they
love me, man. I push it. They give it to me. It's gone. Give it to machine. Machine will push it, man.
So you were distributing it for the people bringing it in.
Yes, because I was kind of off the radar. And another thing they told me, you're not as reckless as us. Yeah. They said, you're more patient, more methodical. They told me you're more methodical than the way you approach things. Us, we just kill everything right then. We'll sort it out later, whether it's our mistake, not you. So I was like, you can build a gap with these other races. And now I perfected that, man. Right. I perfected that because their policy in there don't go outside your race with no type of business, man, at all in them USPs. They can't cook for you. No other race cannot be fixing you food. Prefer if you go to a Mexican store, don't even go to a black and white store. Wow. Keep it in the La Raza, the race. Yes, everything. So I was able to go to the blacks and get the good price. Now I can put my homeboys on. Right. I can go to the Italians and get the meth, because they know, hey, that's the guy that's selling all the weed all the time. That's the guy selling all the heroin all the time. He's good at it. We'll give him this. He's brown. No, but he's cool, man. He's cool.
Did you have to keep your relationship with the DC Black?
What I had to do is kick money upstairs. I'm not keeping secrets from the mafia, Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm kicking it upstairs. 30%.
Wow. So you figure there's got to be a handful of you guys kicking 30% up to
everybody's supposed to.
So
everybody's supposed to hustle, they said. Yeah. Everybody here is going to hustle. Right. You're not just going to be laying around not doing nothing. Right. And I think the reason they wanted to hustle because 30% is going up.
Of course.
Why not?
Of course. So he's collecting like a mafia king.
You got tattoos, guys giving tattoos. 30% of the $200 tattoo. The store man, 30%.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out of line. You're getting that. You're getting that bone crusher.
Yeah, I'm good at those too.
So
I made my first one.
Okay. How do you make bone crushers?
Well,
Tell us what a bone crusher is, in case you haven't seen the show before.
A bone crusher is what it is. It's a piece of metal sharpened to fall down so far and so big that when it goes in your opponent, it crushes your bone. You know, because you got some of them they call stickers. You know, little shanks about this big is going to stick you. You know, might hit a organ, not mine. No, I'm going to crush them bones, man, when it's going in you. Because I'm a little guy. You know, I'm going to push that thing hard as I can. It's going to crush that rib cage.
Were you strapped when you were walking around?
Hell yeah, I was strapped. Not with the bone crusher. I kept that for special purposes only.
For riots
or wars.
Yeah,
for the war. But I always kept it. I always kept one on me. And Johnny, they have metal detectors when you come out of them units. Anytime you go to the yard and you come back in. But so how do you beat the metal detector? I'll tell you how to beat it. I learned it in the Marine Corps. Those boots in prison, Johnny, I'd take the inside of it, got that hard plastic cap inside of it, Johnny. And then I would from the Unicor sewing machines, you get the oil and it burns forever on top of them pop cans. I'll get me a little bitty flame going. I would freaking sit there and get that freaking plastic melted, and I sit there and form it for hours, drop it in the floor, run water on my hands, cool it off, get it back, hot again. Man, I end up getting me a nice little piece, John. I could walk out on the yard, and it went through the metal detector every time.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like metal detectors stop anything at USPs.
No, we always come up with something to go around it.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time.
Now, Unicor.
I worked in there.
So we had our good friend, Unique Mecca, shout out. I call him Unk. You know, real big kingpin back in the day.
Yeah.
He was at Big Sandy. He was at Lewisburg. He got called down by the guards working at the Unicor or supervising the Unicor. And all those cats working were junkies when he was there. And they were like, look, just keep bringing the heroin in. Do not stop. Whatever you do.
The government?
The government said, do not stop bringing in this smack because we need these Unicor guys working like slaves because they have contracts. What the products they're making, they got to fire these things out, you know?
It makes sense.
It's
man.
Big business.
Yes.
So did you know the Unicor workers were getting high? Like who are your customers?
That's most of them that were in there were getting high.
Because they're getting paid and they can buy a $50 piece.
Yeah, because Unicor, that's the highest paying job in a Bureau of Prisons is Unicor. And at Big Sandy, we made military jackets. And the reason I went in there is to get some of that oil. You know, that's why I got that job. I went in there. But a lot of those dudes, Johnny, man, they were strung out and they were using that Unicor money to pay their debt off.
Right.
You know, they were coming to me when they would get close to paying their debt off, 40, 50. Hey, can I get another papelito? And I'd be like, man, let's get it down to 20 first, you know, at least.
Did you ever have a problem with debt collection?
Hell no. One time I did off this dude named Albert from Kansas. He ran a store. And then what happened is he ended up getting some stamps off me. And he wasn't paying them, but he was always having people paying him on store day. He would see everybody going to him. I'm thinking, how does he not have this? So my shot caller tells me, hey, has he ever paid you yet? I said, he keeps saying next week. He said, go ask him again. I went and asked him, this and that, same story. I went and told him, okay, he tells me, okay. So later on that night, they're drinking. My homeboys are drinking White Lightning. And he sees me talking to Albert. We're just talking, you know, shooting a man, he sees us talking. He comes down there. Did you tell him again? I said, before I said anything, I was going to tell him we're talking about the ball game, man. Hey, go up there now. Everything in your house that's worth $50, any and everything. He said, get it out and put it on the bed. He said, we'll be up there in 10 minutes. He said, this and that. He said, I don't want to hear nothing. The dude went up there. 10 minutes later, me and my homeboy get up there. He's got everything laid on his bed. He said, now you get your $50 worth. They said, I'm going to get my 20 for the problem.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my $50 worth of stuff, man.
They're operating like they are on the streets almost.
Out of fear, man.
Almost like with impunity.
Nobody's doing nothing to them in there.
God, that's
their home.
When is the first real gruesome acts of violence that you can remember when you were there?
Yeah, I'll tell you the first dead body I walked over. We were going to chow. I'm in B3, so we have to go downstairs. We're in the ladder well. They never rolled the door open. We're like in there for 10 minutes, man, waiting. Finally, they rolled the door open. There was a dead body, dead dude laying there. He had a little bit of blood there. Eyes was still open. And I fish a lot. I'm a country boy. I know what a fish looks like when you keep him out of the water. He has like a little haze over their eyes.
Yeah.
This dude had a haze. He'd been there for a minute. I'm paralyzed. I'm standing in front of him. There's a whole unit behind me. DC Blacks, Nazi Lowriders, Aryan Brotherhood. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm froze. My homeboy, keep walking, keep walking. I can't keep walking. They grab me, man, like this, and they carry me over the dead body, man. Yeah, I'm looking back. And he's like, man, you've got to keep going.
Don't
man.
stop.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
So on the line for chow, all these different races are just stepping over this guy like he's not even there.
Because it's not very wide.
Yeah.
You know, where you walk.
Wow.
Yeah. And here's the thing. When we come back from chow, he's still laying there. Yeah, still laying there. I'm like, we've been gone for 15 minutes at chow, man. But when we went out to the yard that night, he had finally been gone. There was an inmate out there mopping the blood up.
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff.
The blood, there was like a blood cleanup crew.
There was, man. It was the same dude every time because there was another death out there about a year later, and it was the same dude out there. He's like, they pay me extra. He's telling everybody, laughing at him, you'd pay me extra, he said.
Imagine that. There's so much violence that it necessitates a blood cleanup crew.
The blood cleanup crew. And they pay him a little extra for hazardous duty, they said, because the blood.
Now, you know, especially amongst the whites, there's really no fist fighting, and there's very little violence amongst other groups, unless it's a war, of course, right? When people are getting gutted and stabbed up, it's usually discipline, but amongst their own gang. It is. Now, did La M operate kind of the same way?
Yes, every race. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one dude, they put him on soups, man. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Put you on soups, it means where they kick your teeth out, and you can't eat nothing but soups, man. Johnny, I've seen it, man. And listen, first of all, I want to say this about the people we're talking about. I respect those people, the mafia, and I would never say anything to hurt them. You know, they're very nice to me, and they took good care of me. What they do out here or whatever, that's their business. But I know they're very serious. And this guy that I'm talking about, that they put him on soups, what had happened, he was on a yard, and he was getting ready to get caught with that shank, so he throws it. An important person near them, and he gets trouble for it. The important person.
No.
We know it's all bad. We know it's all bad. We just don't know. We're going to have to kill him, stab him, what we're going to have to do to the guy. But something's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
You know, and he's looking down sad already because he's thinking, I know it's coming, man.
Yeah.
About 2 days later, man, we're all sitting there, we know, watching TV chopping up. You see 3 mother effers coming up from a different unit with boots on. From a different unit. It was the hit squad, Johnny. It was the man. So here they come. Dude automatically goes in his cell. We know who he's coming, who they're coming, why they're coming.
And so he's accepting his fate. Yeah, he doesn't know if he's getting killed in there.
No, but he just walks on in the cell.
Like
I
a
guess
soldier.
he'd rather have it in there, you know, than out here in public, man. So he goes in there. You hear him in there, man. You hear the screams and stuff, yeah. And I go to my room, you know, and then about 10 minutes later, they come get me and stuff. Hey, man, you know, go down there and warm the soup up and stuff. I go down there and warm the soup up. I go on there. Somebody else is cleaning the blood up and stuff. Homeboy's laying on the bed and stuff, holding his freaking already puffed up out to there. He can't tell you like this right here or anything like that. He can't even open his mouth, Johnny. He's doing that for like a week.
Yeah.
He didn't leave the unit, nothing.
Did they save his teeth?
No, they kicked his teeth in, man.
Okay, but you didn't put him on ice and go to the dentist. Oh.
No, they didn't. But he had a whole front grill up top and bottom. And on soups, what that is I don't know how many soups I've fixed the dude. All he could do is like barely had a straw and like put it in his mouth, suck on it. That's putting you on soups.
So they spared his life, though.
Yeah, they spared his life.
Now, did you ever witness or an order to kill somebody?
I never witnessed it, but I heard the plot to it. Yeah, I heard the plot.
What did that do to you?
It made me realize it could get anybody, me too.
Were you worried that you were gonna get that order?
Well, here's how.
Because you're a short timer.
Yes, and here's how I took it, man. Because I heard stories of this one dude. He's got life now. He had like 10 days left, and something happened, and it was just happened to be his turn. He was just up for it. Dude ended up dying. Dudes end up dying. They charge him and 2 other dudes with the murder. 10 days left.
What happened? What were the
He's doing
circumstances?
life.
What were the circumstances? Of
Oh, for that?
yeah.
They say he was talking to a younger girl through the letters, and the guard told. The guard told on him.
Wow.
Yes.
This was a Mexican Mafia?
Yes. The guard told him.
And they were just supposed to punish him?
Man, I don't know what they did, but they said they stabbed him like 32 times. He ended up dying. Yeah. I asked that time. I was close to somebody who was in his unit. I said, what'd he do? He said he was riding an underage girl, and the guard told whatchamacallit.
And he was getting ready to get out. Then he got the order.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there any kind of consideration for, hey, this guy's going home?
There is no consideration.
Like, this guy's got 10 days left. Like, go
If
with
they
God,
even
vaya con
thought
Dios.
that you considered it, they would kill you. You know what I'm saying? If they're sitting there, okay, Johnny, you got to go do this. We know you got 10 days. If you even look funny or look like you don't want to do it or any of that shit, they're going to kill you, man. You better go over and do it and take a chance that the dude don't die. If not, you're going to die.